Fuck it, let's talk about it. So, Paul Pierce, who's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer, played with the Celtics a long time before he got washed up, got traded around the league, a couple teams. Finally, is admitting in Game One of the '08 NBA Finals when he dropped 22 points in the close win, 88 over the LA Lakers. He had this infamous moment where he faked this injury, and he only admits that he needed the wheelchair because he wanted to go to the bathroom. He says, in quote, I just had to go to the bathroom. Admits that was the only reason he left was to go to the bathroom. Now, we all know, unless you're just a fucking jigaboo or a sheep, that Paul was faking that shit. It was one of the worst performances. You know, this hurt. He has no future in acting whatsoever. He looked like somebody's grandmother who fell and couldn't get up, like the old lady in the commercials from years ago. You just knew it wasn't real. He was trying to reincarnate his modern day Willis Reed moment. Willis Reed from the Knicks back in the day who got hurt, came back in the fourth quarter and pulled off the late game heroics. That's what Paul Pierce was doing. You know what I mean? And it was like they made fun of it last night or whatever in the finals pre-show, and he just was like, "Yeah, I just had to go to the bathroom," and it's like, wow, he really had people buying into that shit. But I knew, and I'm not saying this to be a smartass, I knew watching that years ago. I'm like, this shit is fake. Ain't nothing wrong with this nigga. Get your ass up. You know what I'm saying? I've always had I've always thought the flu game by Jordan was bullshit. I love the shoes, but I always thought the flu game was bullshit. Jordan was out the night before gambling all night in Vegas, was hungover. It was no flu, okay? I hate to break your heart. There was no flu game. Jordan was just hungover slightly. But yeah, Paul Pierce admits to bullshitting us in 2008. He didn't bullshit me, but fans and people really believed in it. He was trying to, carve out his legacy because he's a guy who, you know, unfortunately, Paul played around in an era with a lot of popular players: LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. Even the foreign players were more popular than him: Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan. He just never was a star, Kevin Garnett. And I guess this was his moment in '08 to try to make try to make the most of it, try to carve out his legacy. He says a couple months ago he's better than Dwayne Wade all the time, which is bullshit. Bullshit, City Jones. You know, no, you weren't. He was a top two, small guard in his era. You were not ever considered the best small forward or even a top two. Get the fuck out of town, Paul. You know what I'm saying? You got your championship. They put the team around the All Stars and all of that aligned. Be happy with where you're at. You're gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but this is the type of shit why people don't like Paul Pierce. This is the reason why he got stabbed in the city that he played in for 18 years. Stupid shit like that. But yeah, I mean Paulina. That's why we used to call him Paulina. Paulina, bullshit City Jones, man. I'm not even surprised at this shit. You could look it up on Bleacher Report. I put the link in the description, man. Paul Pierce at it again with the bullshit as usual.